I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. And there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Good evening, everybody, or whatever time, whenever it is, wherever you are watching this, whether you're watching live or at your own time, we thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello there. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. I am, of course, your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Producer Kate is running the buttons and making sure everything's running smoothly as always. We want to thank you for tuning in and giving us a bit of your time. We understand what a valuable commodity that it can be, and you could be literally any place else, but we are honored that you are here with us. Before we get into the show, I do want to take a moment and ask you to please click the like button. Doing so will help us out, and it doesn't cost you anything. Neither does subscribing to the channel if you are already not subscribed. If you could do that, it would help us out in amazing ways. We're only so many away from 1,000 subscribers, which honestly, the amount of subscribers does not help us. It's the amount of hours watched and the amount of shares and views. That's what matters more than anything. But it is a nice, neat, cool little vanity thing that Facebook and YouTube and all those things like. So if you have not subscribed, please do so. If you do hit the subscription button, which you can do for absolutely free, it will then allow you to click the bell, which will then allow you to be notified when we go live, which we generally do 5 nights a week from Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. But it will also allow you to know when we drop static videos like shorts or other content. So you might want to do that if you want to stay up to date on what we're doing here. Of course, we are a very interactive show. So when we're live, we like to talk with you and get your feedback. If you're here watching live, please comment over here on the side. We would very, very much like that. If you're watching on repeat during your own time, please comment in the comment section below. That's fantastic as well. But above all else, please, please help spread the word, share the show with everyone you know, and help get that message out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a pretty easy and laid-back show tonight. We're going to talk, unless something comes up out of the blue like it sometimes does, we're going to be talking about 2 specific issues. We're going to be talking about a meeting that occurred last week right after the election in Delaware County. And we're going to then be talking about a meeting that occurred last week right after the election in Henry County. So we're going to be focusing on a Delaware County issue that I feel like a lot of people have wanted to know about and have asked about. So we're going to be going back and kind of recapping something that occurred last week. We have talked about it on here, but we actually have the video of it now. And then we are going to be doing a little bit of Sproles Watch. Of course, it's kind of funky because while this has to do with Sproles, it kind of doesn't. It kind of does, but it kind of doesn't, because what we're going to be watching has to do with the county council. And when we talk about the county council, of course, we're talking about none other than Susan Hoon. Susan Hoon won the election last week, and we're going to be talking about how that's going to affect things. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, we're going to be watching this in Henry County tonight to ask the citizens of Henry County, like, are you guys sadists? Like, do you like pain? Did you do this because you don't love yourselves? You weren't hugged enough as children? You like bad things? Like, I don't understand. You guys literally elected Susan Hoon to the commissioner seat. So, you know, I don't know at this point what to say other than to watch you. And you know, I don't know. So we'll have to see what goes on. Uninformed voters and lack of voter turnout. That's a lot of probably what happened. And I'm going to tell you the other thing that happens. There's a massive movement that occurs. Now, I want to say this before we get started. I myself, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, I am a Christian. I absolutely identify as Christian. I am a believer, and that is what it is. That being said, it's not my job to judge other Christians or say, yes, these people are real Christians, or they're not real Christians, or they're doing this right, or they're doing this wrong. That's between them and their God. That being said, there is a large movement in Henry County of people that are affecting the underlying political movement that are coming from a supposed Christian faith, that a lot of times I have to question what it is they're really doing, because it doesn't seem like it's, I don't know. It's not my job to question what they're doing. That's between them and their God. But I just, you've got to really question, because as we know, they are people out there. There are going to be people out there that are going to be false prophets and yada, yada, yada. And we know, and we should question the actions of people who are doing things in the name of Christianity, but then their actions do not reflect that. So I'm not going to point any fingers, but just think that in your own mind, specifically when we're talking about Henry County and some of those in charge. Okay. Yes, actually, Christian Lee. Yeah, that's a good way to say that there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to Henry County, though, we are going to take a look at the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission meeting, and that is from last Thursday. The meeting was last Thursday. Now, when this meeting first came through, honestly, I attended the meeting. I was there, and it was standing room only. There were a lot of people there because there were a lot of people upset. I think there were a lot of people that wanted to see how the commission was going to deal with the mailer. Of course, you guys know that we're talking about the mailer that went out during the 2024 election. It went out back in March or April, and it was very questionable. Obviously, it was not. It was something that should not have went out. It was definitely a joke. It was a mailer that went out totally in support of James King. And yeah, it also covered some of the other actions that some of the other commissioners had done, but you could tell what it was for. It was, listen, let's be real. It was very apparent what that mailer was. It is just being truthful. And a lot of people asked, wait a minute, did we as a citizens, as a county, did we as citizens, as the county, did we pay for this? Did taxpayers pay for this? If that's the case, like, why? We should not have been paying for this. It was a big ordeal. There was a newspaper article. Of course, the other side balked and said, oh, no, this is just like yada, yada. You know, there was a bunch of nonsense, okay? And that's just the bottom line. And so right before the election, back on like the 20th of April, 24th of April, somewhere around in there, the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission should have had a meeting. But for whatever reason, we did not have a meeting. And that reason was initially laid out to us as, well, we don't have a quorum. But we know that that was all choreographed by James King, Brad Bookout, and the followers of those two individuals. Okay. Now, this, if you don't remember, this is the mailer that I am referring to. This was the mailer that went out, and it had a backside here, yada, yada, yada. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, look, it didn't do anything because James King lost. Stephen Brand won. That's even worse. Now, this guy, as commissioner, as outgoing commissioner, pushed forward this situation, and we did not even have a word edgewise in it. They didn't go through the steps, what they really needed to do to make sure that the whole of the redevelopment commission wanted it. It was never voted on. And now, as the citizenry, we have a commissioner that is outgoing, and we are still responsible for the payment of this nonsense. And that is a problem. I mean, look, it would have been a problem either way, but at least if he would have won, it would have been like, well, okay, well, you know, there's nothing we can do. He won. It is what it is, but he lost, and we still are going to be asked to pay for his crap. Are you kidding me? I think that is quite ridiculous. So I'm going to show you this here real quick. Let me pull this up. I want to make sure. Give me 1 second here. March 31st, I sent out. 1 second here. Okay. Okay. I was looking for the actual, let's see if I can find Delaware County government. The original Go back to this here. All right, here we are. I want to take you through this real quick and show you this. This is the actual. We've looked at this once before. Do this just so that you guys can have an understanding. Again, this is the meeting from November 2nd, 2023. So on the Redevelopment Commission board, instead of seeing Bryce Conyers and Angie Moyers and Michelle Batters and Rob Kiesling and Amber Green, well, who we see is James King. You can see that he's on there. He's in the center here. And Angie Moyers, Bryce Conyers, John Adams, I believe, and Kiesling. Okay. I want to let you guys hear. When this is being discussed, I want you to hear exactly. I know we've covered this once before, but I just want you guys to hear exactly so you understand what you're going to hear Amber talk about.
Is resolution 2023
talk that it would be good, but we wanted something more to go along with the Delaware County.
Okay.
Talk
Here we go.
It would be good on what's going on in a flyer or a. I know a few months ago we had for county info mailers. I know a few months. Awesome.
Here we go.
Next, we'll go to proposal for county info mailers. I know a few months ago we had a gentleman come in here and they put out a flyer or a little booklet on what's going on in the city of Muncie. And we all talked that it would be good, but we wanted something more to go along with the Delaware County for what we do, where it's like on the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission or Delaware County News or something. I asked Brad to reach out to Red Elephant to get us a quote on doing something like this. I believe you sent that out to everybody.
I did. You should all have received this proposal prepared by Mr. Whitehead, who's here today.
But we all discussed it. We thought it would be good for people to actually know what we are doing as a county with the Redevelopment Commission. And just wanted to get everybody's thoughts on this.
We've done a lot of neat things that we need to put out to see.
Looks like got 3 companies that's looking at properties, plus we have another 3 or 4 that are supposed to come within the next few months to visit us. And it just be nice to start putting that out there so people know that, you know, we're bringing manufacturing back here. Not only that, we're building trails. There's just so much that we're doing that a lot of people don't know. So
I can jump in with a little bit of background on this. You know, Starcrest is currently understaffed. We don't have a representative with Starcrest that attends meetings anymore, so there's no coverage of what this body does. This body, in the last 2 years, I believe, has probably funded the paving of more roads than any other jurisdiction in county.
And you see Victor. Victor's sitting right here. This is Brad Bookout. This is Victor of Red Elephant.
That's one thing that I believe needs to be, you know, shared with the public. And others, trails. This body's also paved more trails than any other county organization I know in the state. There are over 10 miles of trails that's been paved, over $10 million worth of trails. The general public doesn't know that. They just know trails got paved. As James said, we signed memorandums of understanding with 3 Italian companies 2 weeks ago. A press release went out to Starcrest 3 days ago. I've heard nothing back on that. It's not been in the newspaper. I think it'll be in the Muncie Journal possibly today. Inside Indiana picked it up 2 days ago, and it was statewide news, but public in Delaware County doesn't know about it. So this is a way to get that type of information out to the public. so that they can understand what's happening at a county level. They can understand county government, what they're doing to benefit the community. So thought was maybe 3 to 4 mailings a year go out to different.
3 to 4 mailings a year.
It could do countywide, could do sections of the county, you know, for doing a specific project, but have the ability to be nimble and to make the public aware of what's happening. So we don't have situations where people say, I didn't know it was happening. I didn't know you paved a trail, you know,
Well, it's
around the corner from my house.
It's like the study that we had at the industrial center, the environmental study.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that we've done that. We know a lot of times people say stuff, you know, about how we take money from schools and all that stuff, but nobody knows like how we're helping Delville, how we've helped Westdale and other communities
Absolutely.
with TIF money. I think it would be good, but
Here it
as a
comes.
board, I wanted to get everybody else's thoughts on it.
I believe we've helped every incorporated town in Delaware County.
Mhm.
I need to share that. Definitely.
That's exactly
So
right,
to do,
Kate.
To do a 35,000 mailing, according to this, total price per piece with design, postcard, print, prepare the mailings, and then United States Postal Service direct door drop comes to about 34 cents per card. So it's, you know, it's an affordable way to get the word out. So, yeah.
Is it just print?
34 cents.
Media.
This is just print. This is just door to postcard to your door. So,
We could add it to the county website. Couldn't that be allowed?
Should,
yeah, you could also put this on the county website.
Let's do that out on the web.
And then, I mean, at the same time, the information on the cards could also be, if we do this now, can also be distributed to the Star Press, the Muncie Journal, all those. So if they choose to pick it up, they will. So, but right now, we're getting statewide coverage before we're getting local coverage. So,
This is all the county, not just select neighborhoods,
right.
every resident of Delaware County.
And I know to be, when I used the term nimble a minute ago, meaning that if we wanted to just let the Daleville town residents, if we wanted to just do a mailer in Daleville, the playground or something like that, we could pivot and just do one section. Yeah. We did a trail in the South Muncie Industrial Center.
We can't just do good. We have to get credit. Let's spend taxpayer dollars for our own egos instead of using that money for the community. Hell yes, Brandon. Absolutely.
And then we just split it amongst all the.
on the TIF
all the
districts.
sections.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I'm happy to work with Commissioner King and take this in any direction.
All right, here we go.
I think it's good to have the communication going out.
I'm happy to work with
on
Commissioner
source
King.
losses, and in the absence of information, negativity ensues.
Transparency is always good.
Yeah, exactly.
You've always benefited from transparency.
Brad, you need like a motion to move forward?
Do we need a motion for this?
If you guys want to move forward with it, we can make.
If you want to move forward with it.
Motion in a second
Yeah.
to approve it by the
To
board.
approve it, to have Brad work with Red Elephant and,
We'll probably
you
have
know,
them-
however we want to, like you said, if we want certain areas.
Approve it to have Brad work with Red Elephant. Because look, they've not even got, you know, they're not signing off on a contract or anything. They're not doing any of that. They're talking about the initial steps.
With the playground with Delville, if we just want to put that in the Delville area, that this is what the redevelopment commission's doing. The manufacturing and stuff and everything, you could go through a broader.
Stuff and everything. I always love when my county does stuff and everything.
Put one out and then just make it to where.
King's always good for stuff and everything.
I think a motion for this body to authorize Commissioner King to proceed. This is just proceed with an actual engagement letter approved by the attorney. Would be a good way to go.
Yeah, I'd like to add in there some things. I mean, you guys have a lot for Delaware, not just.
So the dumbass attorney coughed through it. But what Brad Bookout just said there is, I think that this needs to be a motion to allow Commissioner King to start with, and then they coughed, and he was like, because this is just the initial, beginning of this, and what they're talking about is gathering the information to decide what needs to happen. They're talking about the very initial starting point of this. They're not talking about approving it and pushing it out and, okay, you know, carte blanche, you've got a blank check.
The playground
Right.
and that, so, like the park, the town hall, all the brownfield things you cleaned up. I just think you guys have done tremendous work, and Delville, so, you know, anything we can do to remind you, you know, of all the pluses, so.
But we do a lot of work, but I don't think a lot of people understand what we've actually done, like Isaiah's house and some of the other
That's
stuff.
another great point
You
to
know,
say that.
people need to understand, you know, that we're spending this money wisely,
Yes.
and it's actually to help the community.
We're spending this money wisely. Meanwhile, what is our dumbass attorney looking at down here? This looks like it's advertising. Is he buying shit? What is this? Let's keep an eye on. I know we got this banner, but let's keep an eye on what we can see down here. I didn't even realize that till right now. Let's try to see what this guy's looking at.
For James and Brad to move forward with Red Elephant.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye, any opposed? Okay, we'll move to the invitation to Isaiah's.
Yeah. Just some information.
All right. So I want to show you that was November, the November meeting, November 2nd, 2023. I want to show you what we got from that, okay? Because it's very important that you understand the steps that were taken here, and the steps, moreover, that were not taken here, okay? We've done this once before, but it's just very important that you guys get a chance to see what we did and what we did not do, all right? Here is what they were looking at that day. This is a project proposal from Red Elephant, all right? This was the front part, okay? We are excited to submit this proposal to design, print, and mail postcards for the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission. On behalf of our entire Red Elephant team, I want to personally thank you for this opportunity. When we provide a project estimate, we do our best to accurately articulate the time we believe it will take to successfully complete your project. However, it's only an estimate. Our intent is to accurately estimate the scope of the project based on our understanding of your goals for this project and the time it will take to produce, okay? Yada, yada, yada. Then they give them an option 1, okay? And then they give them an option 2. Option 2 down here, this is where you will see option 2 all the way over, 35,000 pieces of mail, design postcard 750, print and prepare for mailing postcard 4,440, USPS every door direct postage 6,650, or a total estimated price of $11,840. Total per piece is 34 cents. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is what Brad Bookout suggested in what we just heard. We see that that was signed off on by James King on 11/2/23, the very day that we just saw that. In any other normal part of government, in any other and anything else that would have been going on, something would have been brought back to the Redevelopment Commission, and the Redevelopment Commission would have entered into a contract, because keep in mind, this wasn't just a one and done type of situation. Oh, no. No, it wasn't just one and done. It was something that was set up to be several times a year. It was going to be at least 4 times a year, and it was going to be multiple, for all I know, multiple years, 4 times every year. This was a sweet little deal that King was setting up for his buddy to take care of. And, keep in mind, Victor was the former Republican Party chairman. All right. That's important to understand because that's what the connection here is. Okay. That's very important for people to know. So that is, that's there for everyone to know. Now, I want to show you something, and this actually came out. Let me pull this up. This actually came out on Election Day. Give me just a second here.
Can you just real quickly clarify for me what the vote was about? Did they vote to approve the proposal?
No.
Or did they vote to simply look into the
They voted
possibility?
to start the process. They voted that this was the very, all right, to make this simple, this was the very first time that this was ever brought before this board. So this was the introduction of looking into the process of bringing more information back and then them deciding if they were going to. I mean, I'll be honest, I think probably they should have looked for a couple different companies, but they didn't do that. They went with one.
Okay, because Brandon had asked that. Who else quoted for them?
Yeah, to my knowledge, they did not take quotes for this. They just
voted to vote later about it.
Yeah. Yes, okay. They voted to vote. So they said, we've got a guy, we know that this guy can do this, and we want to start looking into what he can do for us. And they brought forward and said, okay, he can do this, this, and this. Let's see what we can do together. And then generally what the steps would have been is at least one other time they would have brought the information back. They would have voted to enter into the contract with the gentleman, and that would have then started the process. Okay. They would have agreed on a price, because there you heard him say 34, it was 34 cents a piece, which 34 cents a piece was, per the mailer, approximately $11,000. All right. 34 cents a piece is $11,000. Right there it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it turns out that it was a little bit different than what we were initially told, because what we learned on Election Day was this is what it actually turned out to be. On Election Day, they sent out the Redevelopment Commission sent out this 117-page 117-page document, which included get to it.
Kristopher, I'm adding all this to the overlays for you.
Okay, yeah, you've got that in there. Okay, awesome. So yeah, there it is. It actually turned out to be $18,700. So quite a bit more than what they were originally telling us. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why you don't just jump on a first proposal, why you go through the process of bringing this back and going through everything so there's no surprises. Because what we were told and what James King signed off on, look, this is my problem, and I'm going to take this before them next time. What James King signed off on, what you see his grubby little signature signed off on, was $11,840. We don't have anything where he signed off on $18,700. So I don't understand why we would be getting an invoice for this for the redevelopment commission to consider going over and possibly paying, because nobody ever signed off on that.
Can
That
you-
amount was never brought up.
What's the quantity there? I'm sorry, it's hard to read.
You
Is it
see the quantity.
50,000? The proposal was for 35,000. That's for 50,000. Is that right?
I'm looking. Okay, so it says Delaware County Economic Development Redevelopment Commission invoice, date, due date, item design, 9x12 postcard, 750, quantity 1, 750. Print and prepare postcard for mailing, quantity 50,000. Now, what I want to know is that 50,000, is that front and back? So is it 25,000? You know, you get what I'm saying? Is it 50,000 because it's front and back? See, we don't know. I don't. It would be good. It would be good to have an understanding of this. That's why having a contract for this would be good. I have the paper invoice in my hand right here. Project. We'll get to that in a second, Jackie, what all's included in that. So, yeah, this is very questionable to me. I don't understand. And this is not even part of it. I don't know why I put that in there. Sorry, this is not part of it. That was my fault. Okay, so, oops, let me take this out. So, the bottom line is what King signed off on here at 34 cents a piece for 35,000 pieces. We didn't even have a description for 50,000 pieces. All right. So, you know, what nonsense did they do here? Everything, let's see, 750, that stayed the same. 7,800. Well, that went up. And it looks like, what is this? 10,150. Okay. Oh, that went up drastically. The USPS amount went up drastically. So that's why.
Can you put the other one back up so I can do the math to figure out price per piece?
Oops, not this one. This one.
No, the other one.
This one here?
The invoice, yes, please. Thank you.
So when I issued a records request for all of this information, and I asked for the contract, are you done with this? The attorney actually sent me, when I asked for all information about this, this is what the attorney sent me. The attorney sent me this, and the attorney sent me this. And I made that red mark on there. The attorney didn't make that. I made it. Okay. So the attorney sent me this, and he sent me a clean copy of this. And then that's all he sent me. I said, oh, no, you're not understanding. I'm also wanting the contract. And the attorney's exact words to me were, there is no contract. There is no contract. So the government entered into a deal with a vendor for at least some form of ongoing work for at least 4 mailers. Maybe it wasn't 4 mailers forever, but it was at least 4 mailers, and we don't have a contract. That's how this happens. That's how we think it's going to be 11,840, and instead it turns out to be 18,700. Whoopsie. That's absolutely freaking ludicrous. All right? Stupid. So I, friends, went back to the YouTube page, to the Facebook page, and tried to find some meeting of the Redevelopment Commission in December, in January, okay, of 2020, December of 2023, January of 2024. I have a friend that's on the Redevelopment Commission, Amber Green. I said, hey, in January or February or March, did you guys vote to approve this? No. I went back through everything, and guess what? There wasn't. So I asked the attorney in the record request for any discussion, any minutes, anything that the commissioners might have done. Guess what I was told? There was nothing. The only record that was responsive to my request, and my request was very detailed, was this record. This and this, which is the same page. I chopped it up so it was easier for you two to see. It's actually connected, but I chopped it up so it would be easier for you all to see. So I received one page. Okay. So then they canceled the meeting in April when people were going to go bitch about this, because the meeting was supposed to be a week before the election, and they didn't want to deal with it. However, the election came and went. King lost anyways. And their meeting for the next meeting they had was actually fell 2 days after the election. All right. Now I want to show you that meeting. Okay. And it looked a little bit different because at the beginning of the year, King came off the board. Batters went on in his place, Michelle Batters, and the council put on Amber. Now, just a really, really brief recap of who everybody is here. Michelle Batters, all right, she is the secretary for Bradley Bookout. So she gets paid to be the yes woman for Brad Bookout, okay? Yes, Brad. Yes, Brad. 2 bags full. All right. She gets paid to tell him that he's a genius, all right, all day long. She's his secretary. This woman got her job because of James King. This man is a James King fanboy. And Lex Luthor here, he walks the line. He's got 1 foot over in the good guy's side and 1 foot over in the bad guy's side. So he kind of walks the line. And then Amber Green, I consider Amber a friend. Some people don't. Yada, yada, yada. It is what it is. She would have been better on the council than a lot of people. I understand she's combative, and she is who she is. It is what it is. It takes all kinds. I definitely think she would have been better than Piper or a lot of other folks who were on there. That being said, she definitely does the right thing here. So this is the council, all right? And they discuss this at the very, very end. So I'm going to jump this forward really quickly so we can hear what happens with this, okay?
The board at all in 2024. I jumped together.
You would. Just mailer. I went back and watched our.
Is to capture the tax increment. The one exception is that.
All right, here we talk about the mailer.
District that is not capturing any residential increment in that area for benefit purposes of the school corporation. So that would be my recommendation, is that you approve me to send the letters that we're required to send by IC code.
Motion.
Thank you.
First and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? April invoices, any questions on those?
I have a comment before we start our April invoices. It's a discussion I've had with Mr. Bookout. We're all aware there's an article in the newspaper about the red elephant mailer. I went back and watched our video, and we all said, hey, we want transparency, and I believe our intent was to inform the public of the workings of this board. Whether or not we hit the mark.
No, Lex. You did not hit the mark. You did not hit the mark at all. So I mean, there's nothing wrong in saying like we screwed up and we allowed James King to play us. It's okay to admit when you're wrong.
A discussion, but whether or not that postcards are the right form, I think might be something to consider. So I think we
postcards of what's going on when there's not an election going on and they're sent out at the same time mailers are being sent out, and they don't look like a campaign mailer specifically plugging one candidate. That's not the right form. But send out a mailer next week, nobody would give a shit.
Pause and suspend those flyers. I don't know if we need a motion or not, but look, is that the best way and the best conduit to inform the public of the work of the redevelopment commission? I think we need to proactively inform, but I'm not sure. Maybe we look back at our tactics. Would be my suggestion. Just I know what we meant to do. I also know where others have a different. I understand the perspective on it. I'll leave it at that. But I do feel a need to inform the public of what we're doing, but maybe we didn't do as well as we could have. Maybe we did.
You hear how hard it is to say the right thing when you're trying to juggle shit. You hear how it is, how it would be so much easier to say, we screwed up, we got played, we shouldn't be doing this, the citizens should not be paying for this, what happened came off wrong, and we maybe didn't intend to, but maybe who knows, there were two other members on this board at the time, who knows what they were doing. And all I can say for me is the perception didn't look good, and I agree with that, and I think that we need to postpone this. He's struggling getting this out, and that's something I don't like.
Over there, I suggest we pause that.
But I do like the fact that he says I suggest we pause it. All right, so listen to what happens.
We need a motion on that or not, but
you would.
The attorney comes up quickly. You would need a motion to pause that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We pause the red elephant.
So then Lex makes the motion that they pause it. Now, one of these other people, Michelle, who won't do it, Angie, who won't do it, Bryce, who won't do it, he's made the motion. So the only other person that we can count on to second it is Amber. All right, let's see if she seconds it.
Flyers. Not saying we don't do something, just saying pause it for now.
And first on that.
I'll second that.
Oh, surprising. Amber seconded it. Okay, good. Now we have a vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Now, interestingly, because I didn't hear this end down here say aye, but they didn't say they were opposed either. So let's listen again.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
I don't know what you call that vote, because these ladies did not vote in favor. They just simply did not vote. This is weird. I thought that when I was there. Listen to this again.
Maybe we look back at our tactics. Would be my suggestion. Just I know what we meant to do. I also know where others have a different. But here nor there, I suggest we pause that.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Not saying we don't do something, just saying pause it for now.
Let's listen.
And first on that.
I'll second that.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No, man. So the vote was. What's the vote in that? Does Bryce vote? I didn't look at his mouth. Let's see if Bryce votes.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah. Okay, so it was 3-2. These idiots down here just didn't vote. They didn't vote for it. They didn't vote against it. I mean, that's disgusting. All right, that's just to pause it. Now let's hear if there's anything else that happens.
Okay.
Brad, John, I'm not sure who I need to ask this to. Is there any way we can go through the April invoices individually?
So, what Amber just asked there was this, okay? I'm going to put this, well, for this we need to go to, well, I'll do this. I'm going to send you this. Hey. Up. You put that up on the screen when you get a second. So basically what happens is during yesterday, or no, this is not yesterday, during the meeting on Thursday, May 9th, this was the agenda, okay? This was the agenda. Now, this agenda looks a little bit longer, and it's because this is basically taking care of 2 meetings, all right? This is taking care of the meeting from April, and it's taking care of the meeting from May, all right? So that's kind of what the deal is there. Well, in this agenda, the April invoices are listed, and that's they have to pay the April invoices. Okay, you see April, and it says DCRWD, J. Crew Landscaping, Brook and Struble, the Elam Group, United Consulting, American Structure Point, Delaware County Treasurer, Mundell and Associates, Endpoint Creative, Red Elephant Digital, G&G Muncie LLC. All right. From there, it then goes into the May invoices, which maybe you didn't put those up, but that's fine. So the May invoices are just as long. Okay, there's the May invoices. So what Amber asked right there, because what they generally do is like every other government that goes down in Delaware County or Muncie, no green light on this one. Everywhere else, ladies and gentlemen, pays the invoices all together. They don't go line by line by line. They just go down through them all, okay? Amber says, hey, I don't know. We'll have to come back and get that here in a second. Who Structure Point is. I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to go back and look. What Amber's asking is it okay that we do these separate? Because she has a question about at least one of these invoices. So let's go back to this meeting now.
As far as approval?
Yes, as far as approval wise, you don't have to approve them all together. You can agree to pull one out or whatever you want to do. So yes.
I would like to approve pull the Red Elephant one out individually. I'm fine with all of the others going together.
I guess that would change anyways if we pause it, wouldn't it? Wasn't that we already did the work. That was for one.
The one mail has been sent, correct? Yes.
We approved it, so we owe them the money.
Okay, now listen to this. Listen to this. All Amber has asked is she wants to pull it out to discuss it. She just wants to discuss it. But listen to Bryce and listen to Angie already jumping. Oh, we've already approved it. I mean, listen, okay. She's not talking about not paying it. She wants to have a discussion on it.
I'm fine with all of the others going together.
I guess that would change anyways if we pause it, wouldn't it? Wasn't that we already did the work.
Okay, so for some reason, Lex Luthor's the one that says we already did the work. Yeah, we already did the work, but we need to discuss some things because this isn't all on the up and up. Okay.
That was for one.
All right, and here's the concerning part is, and I didn't notice this till we just said this. I was at this meeting, but I didn't notice it. You better bet your ass I'll be at the next meeting, and I'm going to ask them why the difference. The work that you guys were aware they were doing was for $11,800. You guys paid for $18,000. So who's going to get that balance back? Listen to Angie here. Listen to what she says.
Make one payment has been sent, correct? Yeah.
We approved it, so we owe them the money.
Yeah.
We approved it, so we owe them the money. I mean, who are you here for, man? Are you here for the citizens? Or are you here to ensure that King and his buddies get paid? Like, I don't understand it. Like, why are you so adamant for this? All right, listen.
I understand that. I was not here when that was approved in November, I believe. But if you watch that
and look at Michelle side eye, the attorney or whatever she's doing here. Watch Michelle doing the side eye when Amber says she wasn't there in November.
I understand that. I was not here when that was approved in November, I believe. But if you watch that meeting, it was stated that any design elements, what was going to be put on it, et cetera, would come back to the board. It did not come back to the board at all in 2024. I don't believe it came back to the board in December. I've watched that
did not.
meeting as well. So I appreciate that we've made the motion to suspend, but no design or anything was brought back to the board for consideration before it was done.
And on top of, there was no vote period. There was no contract. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. So what's happening here?
I would suggest that someone make a motion to approve all invoices with the exception of Red Elephant. So do Red Elephant individually.
Second.
Okay, so this motion was for all invoices except Red Elephant.
So they're going to pay all invoices in April except Red Elephant. All right.
Yeah. Now the first and second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Yeah, that we can definitely hear what it sounds like when they say aye. They did not say aye on that last deal. So I don't know what kind of joke they're running. You can even see her mouth's moving even when her head is in the same way. So I don't know what they're doing on that last go.
Now we can address the other one.
I'll move to approve the invoice.
What? Now we can address the Red Elephant. And Angie doesn't allow for any discussion. Move to approve. Listen.
Elephant for $18,700.
Second.
I got a first and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
What was the hell? Why did they even pull it out if that's what they were going to do? Why even pull that out if that's what they were going to do? What just happened there? They didn't discuss that. Lex Luthor. It's Rob Kiesling. The bald guy is Rob Kiesling. Yeah, that's insane what they just did there, folks. That is absolutely nuts what they just did. So, all right. Now, watch. I was sitting back there with Janet Garan thinking like, what the heck is going on here? Now, listen to this. Listen to this. No, GW, I don't listen. I don't truly think that. I mean, I know Amber was pissed. Amber wanted for there to be a discussion. Amber does not get along with that end of the table. I'll be honest. I think it's probably Amber on her own, honestly, at this point. I think from Lex on down, They do what they want to do, and she's out there fighting the fight. Sometimes Lex goes on her side, but most time he doesn't. This is just a really weird thing that occurred here, and I don't like this. I think it's very crazy. Now, listen to this, and it was Amber that voted against it. Now, listen to what happens after this, okay? Because we're getting ready to have public concerns.
And we can move on to May invoices. Move approval. Got a first.
Second.
Got a first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm sorry, was the motion from you, Rob, on
Yeah.
that one?
I think it was Andrew Michelle.
Michelle. I'm trying to keep up here.
I read them all last night. Great time.
So we have no bond or bot invoices. Any public comment? I see none. I will take a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
In a matter of 4 seconds. In a matter of 4 seconds, that man said, so do we have any public comments? Seeing none, I move to adjourn. I didn't even I was in the middle of breathing. I didn't even get a second to even remotely start to move. There were other people there trying to get in position too. They literally said public concern. Okay, seeing none, motion to adjourn. Watch this again. This is ludicrous.
I see none. I will take a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Michelle.
I'm trying to keep up here.
I read them all last night. Great time.
So we have no bond or bot invoices. Any public comment? I see none. I will take
Oh, really? It was 3 minutes.
a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
First and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
And look
Any
at how
opposed?
they're finally smiling. We're out of it. And man, they were out of there. What a flippin' joke. Like, that's the government, folks. City of Muncie. Yes, you're right, Derek. Absolutely. I think I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Amber. I have not spoke to her. Well, I have spoke to her. I've not spoke to her about this since. I'm gonna ask her why she didn't push. I mean, it really took everybody by surprise, because when you pull that aside like that, and you specifically pull that out of the invoices and move it to talk about it, the point is for there to be discussion. Now, why didn't the others say something? It's because the others didn't give a shit. The others are on board with it. That's the reason the others didn't say anything about it. Now, as far as what the 17 pages are, the 117 pages, it's all part of the things that were on the agenda there, okay? Now, to understand what's going on there, I want to take you to Amber's social media page for her election, her election page, because she made a post about this. Let me pull this up here. Okay, so here Amber shared a picture of the actual agenda, the full agenda, and put that there. And then she shared the other page, which was basically the minutes for the last meeting back in March, and who was there, and yada, 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 and what occurred there, okay? So that's what happened. Along with that, Amber said the following. The Delaware County Redevelopment Commission held our May meeting yesterday, May 9th. This was a couple days ago. Regarding the mailer sent out in March, I am proud to announce that a unanimous motion was carried to suspend any future engagement with Red Elephant Media. So thank God we will not be paying them for any other work going forward. Unfortunately, the payment of $18,700 for the mailer was approved. I voted no to the approval of that invoice, and approval carried 4-1. I am hopeful that this marks the end of our community's tax dollars paying for campaign materials. All right, I do very much agree with that. Some of the comments that were discussed during that crap. I knew I did that. Some of the comments that were discussed are as follows. It takes guts to vote against the majority. That is why I vote in favor of appointing you to that position, because you're willing to do what it needs to be done. Well done. Thank you. It should never have been spent. King should be paying for that. The county should file suit. It's ridiculous. That's crazy that they would approve this without a law in place to prevent this. It will just continue to happen. This is why property taxes need to be capped or eliminated altogether, because I'm tired of my money going to political bastards' pockets. Amber, thank you for posting the agenda, results of the meeting in minutes. Wonderful. The citizens can be informed. Keep up the good work and keep your conscientiousness. And so those people commented there. Sherry Ridenauer wanted to know who approved that. And so I think that's a very interesting thing. Now, I will tell you that I am disappointed in how the discussion or lack thereof was handled. I think that was just very bizarre. It should not have been handled that way. I am so confused as to why that would have been handled in the manner that it was. It was ridiculous. And I think that, we need to consider that moving forward. And I think that we need to, I don't know. They need to not be so quick on the draw. I'm going to let them know ahead of that next time that there needs to be basically they need to take the same way that the councils do. They need to take note of who will be speaking ahead of time. They need to make sure that folks know that they're going to speak ahead of time. I was just shocked that that's happening. I'm fine with them asking at the end of the meeting too, but I'm just saying that they need to have that kind of information ahead of time, where they're not just saying, okay, any public comments? All right, none, let's run, which is basically what they did. That's nonsensical, and not a whole lot gets done there. I will tell you that the rest of the meeting, they were kind of all griping at various points about the fact that all of the information that they were given was given in a 117-page document. They were talking about how ridiculous it was, what a short time they were given to look over all of that. I will let you hear a little bit of this.
Okay, we'll start off with the opening public hearing for the Park 1 bond issue.
Sorry.
Anybody here to speak for or against?
That's the wrong meeting.
All right, it's 9:00. Let's begin the May 9th Delaware County Redevelopment Commission meeting. We can stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brad, will you call roll?
Yes, sir.
Here.
Michelle Batters,
Here.
Brad Conyers,
Here.
Aaron Green,
Here.
Bob Kiesling,
Good morning.
Andy Moyer.
Here.
All right, let's move on to number 3, approval of the March 14th, 24 minutes.
Motion to approve.
First,
Second.
first, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
One revision was made,
Oh,
and
that's right.
Angie pointed out that Southwind Village was spelled Southward Village, so that revision has been change made.
Thank you, Brad.
All right, on to resolution 2024-004 HTCU expansion. John.
Yes, this is the resolution for the contribution you're giving to the high-tech crimes unit that Chuck was in here talking about last month. This is just a formal resolution to approve the funding for their construction work.
Any questions or entertain a motion?
I appreciate Chuck's getting 3 bids, so I'm good. Sorry, Angie.
That's okay. Move to approve.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, moving on to resolution 2025, should be 2024-005, Delaware County Highway paving.
Yes, this is the formal resolution for the paving of Southwind Village and around the industrial TIF that the board adopted last month. This is just a formal resolution to approve that funding.
Motion to approve.
I got a first,
Second.
I got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Town of Yorktown paving request. Chase?
Morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you already got
It's a 117 packet. I mean, I got it all.
he's ahead of it. All right, you want one?
Hey, he's the only one. Maybe.
I mean, there's a lot of pages here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So they're obviously talking. They made mention of that several times that there was 117 pages, and basically it's the information that the board is supposed to be looking over and being completely up on before they vote. Now, keep in mind, Amber was a candidate running for office on Tuesday. She was given this information Tuesday evening. Wednesday's pulling down signs and all of this. Then they have this meeting on Thursday morning. There's been a literal entire month since the last time they met. You know, sometimes there's like 3 weeks between meetings because of how months and dates fall, or, you know, it's not an entire month. But the last time these people met was in March, then April happened, and then now this was May 9th. You mean to tell me we can't get these people these documents at a better time period to allow them to be able to read through and fully know what it is that they're going to be hearing about and voting on? This is just like the whole Nancy Pelosi, you have to pass it to know what's in it kind of bullcrap. This is not how government is supposed to be working, folks. This is totally off, completely batshit crazy. Now, if you want to go watch the rest of this meeting, you can find this on YouTube. It's right here on YouTube. You can find it by going to the Delaware County Government YouTube page, and you can watch the entire 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 37 seconds of it. There are some interesting points, you know, to kind of look through there and see what's going on. I would recommend folks that are interested go through it. If you're interested in attending these meetings occur on the second Thursday of each month at the Innovation Connector at 9 a.m. And this is one of those things that I believe that people should start paying attention to, because, folks, they're handing out lots and lots and lots of money too. So just keep that in mind. All right. Hey, before we leave here, all right, I also want to take a look at the the Henry County Council meeting from the other week. And I need to pull them up here. Give me 1 second. Let me get this pulled up. Okay. Henry County Council work session. Henry County Council. Let's get this thing started here.
In much
April 10th meeting. Shannon, and then a prayer by Susan, please.
So moved.
but more importantly, it's the highest increase from Ready 1 to Ready 2. So we are happy. Now, most popular question is, well, what's going to get funded? And so I want to shed some light on that topic, but there's still a lot of information and a lot of conversations to happen. All that being said, this is my disclaimer statement. Project selection, it's fluid and it's dynamic. It depends on conversations with the region and also with the state. Projects will need to align with state priorities, and a complete financing package will need to be in place, i.e. match. The projects mentioned on this document were submitted in a call for projects. That was a public call for projects.
Okay, this is their economic development director. The reason we're watching this is an election occurred last week in which the citizens of Henry County elected Susan Hoon to be their new Henry County commissioner come January. All right. Since I have been looking into Henry County, I have battled various elected officials in Henry County. All right. I want to be really upfront and honest about this. I have battled Bobby Plummer. I have battled Steve Dellinger. I have battled nearly everybody on their council at one point or another, including Susan Hoon. The difference is Bobby Plummer and Steve Dellinger learned from their mistakes. They worked to correct the issues, and they would admit when they messed up. They would take steps to correct their errors. Susan Hoon has been one of the most immovable objects I think that I have ever met. I have literally looked at her in the face and been talking to her, and she's just like stood there like she just absolutely did not give a shit if I was alive or dead. She did not care what I was saying. It did not matter what I had to say. She was not listening. She was not thinking about what I was talking about. She simply did not care. And it was like she could see through me. And the fact that the citizens of Henry County have now placed her in the executive branch of their government, I don't think you've realized what you've done. Yeah, right. Steve Dellinger's like the local Tom Selleck. Yeah, say Steve Dellinger's a badass. I love Steve. I like Steve. I like Bobby. I think they're great. Now, what they don't realize is all they did is they put Bobby back in her very powerful seat as citizen. I mean, Bobby will be right there sitting where she's always sat. So, you know, it's not like they got rid of her by any stretch of the imagination. Hey, good night, Alva. See you back here at another date and time. But I want to show you this. One of the things that I'm most concerned, and again, for those of you in Henry County, if you're interested in watching this, you can watch this on YouTube. You can watch the meeting in full, and I think that you should. But I want to show you something that's very concerning to me. Okay, I want to show you this. The meeting's not very long. The entire meeting, the entire video is an hour and 14 seconds, but they didn't get started until about the 10-minute mark. Okay, the meeting was quiet, and they didn't get started. Corey was the first one up. But I want to show you something that's concerning to me when I watched this the other day.
And do more research.
We have to act on that motion first.
Right, we're in discussion. It is something we could come back if they're.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I'd make a motion that we approve the CF1s for boar's head provisions, Frank Bronkhorst, and the second one for boar's head provisions as they all met their commitments.
And the third one? I'm lumping the three are together under that personal property. Oh, is that part of your motion, the top three?
Yes.
Okay. It's been moved to approve these annual updates from Boar's Head.
One thing that's very concerning to me is during this meeting, at various times, the council president, Ken Gray, refers to text messages that he and the council have been having all day long about their non-reverting fund. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a records request for all of their text messages because he made mention in a county meeting that they have been texting about work all day long. In my opinion, that's a private meeting. I mean, you know, were they texting one person? Were they texting all of them? You know, like what exactly were they doing there? That is a no-no. You got to be real careful about that. But the issue that I have about this meeting, when I watched this morning, okay, I want you to see what they do here at the end during public comments.
Good things going on. So there are positives. Sometimes we just deal with the challenges and the negatives, but there's a lot of positive things going on. Maybe we need to accentuate those more. Comments, questions? An hour. I think whenever we can do an hour. Oh, it was an hour, but.
Well, no, it's just going to take a couple minutes. The mayor and I did discuss the funding request for 2025 for Newcastle EMS, and it's going to stay steady at 300. He doesn't anticipate that moving at all anytime soon, barring any major catastrophic event. He wanted to make sure that everybody understood that they will not ever say, I won't say never, 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 but they will not in the next foreseeable future ever say they will not go out of the city. So
from the mayor. Okay, good.
So 300,000 for 2025, which is what was funded for 2024.
Yes, the last 2 years. That's good to know for budgeting purposes into the future.
Bobby, I have a quick question. Is the intention to just renew that contract on an annual basis, or?
We will have the discussion annually, but pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's the interlocal agreement, and Joel, you can remind me, it's written to be the monetary terms will be extended every year, but we have to approve it every year. The commissioners have to
It can
approve
be
it every year.
terminated at any point at the end of the year?
If the commissioners want to terminate it, absolutely, the commissioners can
understood.
terminate
Just-
anything they want, but
I guess that was my question.
I would advise against it. I don't think it's a
Oh,
good
certainly,
idea.
I don't disagree with that at all. But,
Yeah.
um,
But yes, we can
there's
terminate it at
termination
any
clause in
time.
there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, this council's so bizarre.
They can terminate it or we can terminate it.
Thank you.
And the reason for this is we're required by law to provide ALS service throughout the county, which the Henry County EMS is not yet set up to do, even though they're in Mandy's letter that they are starting the advanced, anyway, read her letter. I won't repeat it because I've been accused of doing that a lot. Anything else? Public?
Susan Hoon is here in the green.
Yes, sir. Identify yourself and ask away.
I don't
I
know
don't.
who you are.
Yeah, I don't know who you are.
Right now, that's not really important. What's important is, did you guys all swear an oath to the Constitution?
Sir, can you identify yourself and your address?
Okay, so here's problem number one. You do not have to identify yourself, and I don't understand why Betsy Mills would push this. Betsy Mills is aware that you do not have to identify yourself. This boils my blood. All right, you do not have to identify yourself, and you sure as hell do not have to identify your address. And Betsy Mills knows this. Betsy and I have argued this before. Betsy is aware that you don't have to do this. So, like, I don't know if it's just like, well, she's like, well, Kristopher Bilbrey's not in the room, so I'm going to see if I can get this asshole to identify himself. Well, listen to me, Betsy. That's not how this works, all right? So that's problem number one. I don't understand that. And this guy pushes back against it, and I'm glad he does.
You don't need my address. I'll just tell you my name's Rick. And I'm a
You're required to identify yourself at our meeting.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
Do I have a motion to
That's what
adjourn?
I'm saying.
So moved.
So what, you guys are denying me my First Amendment right to speak? So you're violating my rights with the attorney sitting right here who knows you are. You really, Joel, you're not, are you?
This is disgusting.
You don't know anything about the First Amendment?
Your signature's up here, counsel, before you leave.
Okay, so you guys don't want to know about the truth about the drugs and all the bullshit being peddled in you guys' jails? Nothing. That's okay for you, huh, Joel? Everybody's breaking the law. You guys are literally going to violate my rights right now, not let me speak, because I won't give you an address. Yeah, but you're not putting it down on record. You're making a mockery of this right now. I identify myself. I told you, I said I'll give you the name Rick. That's all you need. I'm not even required by law. The people have a right to speak, correct? And you're denying me that right.
You're speaking.
None of you are looking at me. None of you are taking this shit serious. Well, you are.
So there you go. I guess they want me to get this guy off there. I guess they want me to have to show back. Like I thought like we were past this. I thought we were to the point. Now what they're going to do, and this is, I question, I almost honestly question if this is not some kind of a game they're running with the sheriff. Because now I see this and I'm like, all right. Like, now I got to come back down there and teach you idiots a lesson. And they're going to have, like, the sheriff there, and it's going to be some big old thing. All right. But I really question this. Like, are they prepared for the battle that they are now calling on? Because the council meets down in Henry County. That's the one good thing about them I can say. They meet, like, every week. So I just got to pick a day and go down there. Hell, I think they were down there today, but I didn't learn about this until after that. So next time the council's in session, I'm going to go down there and make sure that they're aware that they don't have to ask people their names or address. I really am disgusted that Kinnan didn't put Betsy in her place. And I tell you, newly elected Susan Hoon was sitting right there. And Susan Hoon ran on wanting to be, more connected to the county, wanted to be more connected to the citizens, wanted to communicate more with the folks, wanted there to be better communication and transparency and all of those cool, cute buzzwords that she says, and that all campaigns say, all candidates run on. And so she was elected last week. Now she is going to be running this November. Right now, there are no Democrats running against her. I don't foresee there being any Democrats running against her. So unless something just absolutely wildly bizarre happens, Susan is and will be the commissioner-elect for 2025. Is this how she's going to run her commissioners' meetings? Why didn't she step up to the plate here and say, I want to hear what this guy has to say? I'm telling you, folks, Henry County, you are in a worse spot this week than you were at this very time last week. Because 1 week ago today, Susan Hoon hadn't won the election. Now here we are, Susan Hoon won the election last week, and you guys are in a bad spot. And you're going to start seeing more and more nonsense like that occur. And it's going to have to be on us to go down there and teach them a lesson and say, no, remember, you cannot do this. This is nonsense, and put them in their place. So they've all already been dealt with Luke Britt. Luke Britt actually went down there and held a 2-hour meeting with them, where they had everyone come in and they all learned what they could and couldn't do. They know better than this. So, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to go down there and teach them a couple things. At least they get an opportunity, not in Madison County. And that, Lisa, that's the thing. We have to fight that whole thing. We have to fight that. We have to fight that. Listen, and here's the thing. Tweety Bird, Delaware County asks your name, but at least they don't force you to do it. I've been up there. I mean, of course, they know, most of our names, they know if you go there and you speak, they know your name. But I have been up there where people have not given their name and they've continued letting them speak. Same thing with Muncie. That's just the thing. Listen, I don't have a problem with them asking. I don't have a problem with them saying, would you care to give us your name? Because that's just kind of a polite thing when you're speaking in public to know. But if somebody is adamant about not giving it, they don't have to give it. The other issue here, and this is something that really bothers me, and it's always bothered me, is they don't have a right to know your address. Okay? They do not have a right to know your address. I get it. They're wanting to make sure that you're a citizen of the county. But if you're not, you still have a right to speak. You still have a right to speak, whether you live there or not. If you drive through there, you might have concerns. If you have family there, you might have concerns. You still have a First Amendment right. If you live in California, but you come to Henry County for a week, you still have that First Amendment right. The other issue is just the fact that they're not willing to somehow even compromise. All right, tell us the county you're from, which again, you don't have to do, but their action is, all right, motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn? They know what they're going to do. And that's the bullshit that is unacceptable. That is what we have to take it out. So it's just, I saw that this morning. I was absolutely pissed when I saw that. It's gross. And again, there's more things there that we didn't even get into because we're getting ready to run late here. But I am going to make a point with them on this, and I am going to ask for all of their text messages, because if you go and you watch that meeting, they do talk about texting each other all day long. And so that is also a problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for tonight. I am going to try tomorrow, either tomorrow or the next day, to have a guest on, and it'll be interesting. This will be a kind of a surprise guest. I will, when I find out exactly when they can come on, I'll let you guys know, but it should be interesting. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. We will be back here, obviously, at the same time tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, God willing, and I hope to see you all back here. If you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. It doesn't take you very much time, folks. Just go down there and hit it on your way out of here. It's not that hard. Hit that like button. We've been doing really well with that here lately, but then all of a sudden it fell off. So smack that like button. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do that. Change the bell. That way you get notified when we go live. And we will see you back here tomorrow at the same time. You guys have a good rest of your evening. Have a great Tuesday. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Like that. Hello there, Wanda. Hello, hi, goodbye. Absolutely, Karen.